Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show up here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy Campbell.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. How's everybody doing today? We hired John yesterday, our new OC. He is familiar with the Lions organization, was with us in the 2022-2023 season as an assistant under Ben Johnson, minor assistant. But I heard he helped develop the playbook that Ben Johnson did with Goff. So he has familiarity with this team. What I do like is what he did with Bo Nix, and all they really had was Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims, and Marvin Mims was a mid-round pick that flourished this year. So maybe we got somebody here who might be able to get some more out of everybody. No guarantees on it, but I think it's a great thing. Good afternoon, Davey. Good to see you, my brother. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Another great day to be in paradise. But let's see what else is out there in Detroit news today. Yeah, Lions are reportedly moving on from their assistant D-line coach, Cameron Davis. Happy birthday, buddy. It ain't my birthday. How you doing? How you doing there, Ken? So far, we've only lost the 2 assistants. We're still waiting to hear what happens with Tanner Engstrom because he's interviewing with the Jets. He didn't take the Bears job, which I find confusing. Oh, Moonscar said, no, no, no. It's not my birthday. My birthday's October 9th. You were on that show. It was a Wednesday. It was a while ago, though. What this is my Crosby, no AP, not happy, go all in. I don't know what you're talking about there, but this is my fourth year of doing the show as of today. I'm starting 4 years in. Thank you to everybody who made this possible. Orlando, I love you. Um, I know he's not happy. I don't know how it showed up. Oh, yes, we have the same birthday, but smoke is good here. Yeah, October 9th, buddy. Yep, we talked about that. I don't know how. I think it was the birth of this show, is what that was, Moonscar. It's happy birthday, kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions, is what it is. Year four in ensuing. Oh, it's not false information. There's still a birthday. It's the anniversary of the show. The start of my fourth year. Crazy. Crazy. Because year one, I was with We Are Lions Nation. Thanks to Jim Bordeaux and the people of no Detroit Lions on the prowl. I can't believe I'm going in my fourth year now. It's been a long journey. I remember when I had 50 people and only like 12 watching every day. And to be here and have this many people watching and paying attention to my show, it's amazing. Moonscar, it's not your fault. I think it's because the Motor City kneecap biting page um, gives it creation date or whatever. Yes. Happy anniversary for the kneecap biting Lions. Yes. Yeah, cap space does look decent and it's going to improve. We forget it's going up this year. Plus, we have our rollover. There's a chance we could have 90 million in cap space, people. And I think we're going to do it by taking care of who's on the team that we have to take care of. Remember, we had to talk about extending Aiden Hudson, get his 5th-year option, then extending him. 5th-year option for Jamison Williams, then extending him. There's a bunch of guys going into year 3. They may even want to consider extending Kirby Joseph right now because he hasn't had the big accolades yet of like defensive player of the year or something like that. One of his goals. Yeah, that's probably what it was, buddy. The start of the 4th year of kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions. And the off season's here. It's about ready to change its name again just a little bit. I'm going to change it to Kneecap Biting Sports Network. Um, on the 15th, I do have a little Tigers news for us. We signed the 4th best prospect and probably the best power hitter out of the international prospects out of Dominican Republic. Chris Rodriguez. Amazing kid. They're saying he might be the best one since Miguel Cabrera to come out of the Dominican Republic. And that's healthy praise for a power hitter because he also has decent bat contact. Exactly. I think we're going to keep Z Smith just because it isn't that much. I think the guy on the outs is Marcus Davenport because we gave him a futures contract. It was a 1-year deal. I believe he's going to be gone. Um, I think Zadarius Smith stays. So Chris Rodriguez, he's 6'4", 200 pounds, 17-year-old. And they also gave him the biggest international free agent contract there is. I don't think letting Z go is a good thing to do unless you have someone else in place. And I don't think we're going to all in to offer for Max. I don't think it makes sense to do that because it doesn't make sense for the Raiders to do it yet either because of the dead cap because they just re-signed him. So I don't think they're going to let him go. I just don't. I think it'll be another year before they can do that because it has to be in year 3 of that restructure. Yes, 100% Moonscar. We got people like that to worry about. We already took care of Lean. You got to take care of Aiden Hutchinson, and if they want to keep Jamison Williams long term, they got to do that. They at least need to get to do the 5th-year option on Jamison Williams. I think they're going to wait another year to see if his decision making off the field gets better on Jamison. That's just my opinion. I think he deserves that 5th-year option 100%. Um, Barnes is another one. We don't know if they're going to bring him back. We got Malcolm Rodriguez going into year 3, but he's had 2 major injuries out of the 3 years. So I think we resigned Patrick. Pat Roswell, I'm doing great, and welcome to the show. There she goes, Jim Jackson. Oh, all that cap sure helps. Yes, but the draft capital doesn't. We see that this team is not complete because Brad Holmes made it very clear the last 2 years, and he hasn't done anything more. I'm going to build the team completely, and once it's done, then the team's not complete. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not bullshit ourselves. If the team was complete, where would we be this week? Preparing for the Super Bowl, right? It's not complete. I'm sorry. I still see holes that need to be filled. I think in the first round we should probably go with Jackson out of Arkansas. Resign Patrick, resign Levy, replace Barnes. Yes, 100%. That's where I'm at. I think Barnes has not been able to stay healthy. He's been good in spots on the field, but he disappears at times. I agree with that. Resign Patrick, resign Levy. Hell, they might even rework Z's deal, but I don't think they should touch it because 6 million of his deal is paid by Cleveland. 15-2. But yeah, it's not complete. It's not a complete team, Orlando. I think Williams stays in Detroit. Oh shit, you beat me to it. Freaking hilarious. And yes, she was going. So he's actually making 3.197 $3,197,500 this year for Chris Rodriguez, which is the highest paid international prospect ever by the Tigers. Um, we also added a few more too. I wanted to get to them. Infielder Sterling Brazila out of Dominican Republic. Infielder Angelo de los Santos, another one out of Dominican Republic, and then a few out of Venezuela. Catcher Carlos Benavides, Anderson Diaz, and outfielder Jose Ramirez. And yes, I believe he is related to that Jose Ramirez from Venezuela. So they're saying that all of these guys have a chance to be on the team, but Chris Rodriguez is probably the closest to pro ready. He has a swing like Alex Rodriguez, compact, full of power. Does have a little bit of swing and miss, but that can be picked up with a good hitting coach. They could be. I like what I'm hearing. And this kid's 17 years old and he's 6'4" and 200 pounds. Can you imagine once he fills into his frame? At 17, he could still grow another 2 inches. Talking about an expanded strike zone. It'll be hard to hit one high and inside on this guy. I viewed a little bit, and it was mostly workouts and some a little bit of team drills. Not much. It was mostly like sled work, um, and individual drills. But I kind of don't like who's coaching them. I don't know if it's going to be any good for them. It's just weird not having offensive coordinators or a defensive coordinator on there. It's a special teams coordinator and a O line coach. So I think we're going to see a lot of focus on the O line on the American side, and a lot of focus on special teams and everything else on the national side. I understand they bring other guys in, but it's just weird head coaching prospect for me for those teams. Um, I am going to be paying attention to Mike Green, Lawrence Jackson, and the other kid out of Texas, out of Arkansas. There's Arkansas Stewart out of Texas A&M. Those three guys I'm going to be paying attention to off the D line. There's a couple of guys on the offensive line. There's only one Michigan guy on the offensive line there, and it's the long snapper. And I don't think we need him. So that's kind of mute for watching. Oh man, yep, yep, absolutely, Keegan. I like the moves that we're making now. They're not break the bank moves. We're still in talks with Brigman, but it looks like he may end up back with Baltimore. That those talks have opened back up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the money or the length of contract, but there's some sort of hang up between the Tigers and him. I'd like to bring Alex Brigman in because that's a solid third baseman. You put that with that rotation, it makes Spencer Torkelson more of a commodity that could be moved. Because I think Carpenter should be that DH. That's just me. 15 and yeah, and the injuries are why the defense gave up 45 points. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Orlando. We're not complete. We got this close. 4-star Chicago Sports. How you doing? Congratulations on getting your coach. Um, thank you, thank you. Good to see you here. Um, it hurt when Ben Johnson left, but I get it. It's a promotion, so I'm not mad at him per se and feeling like he stabbed us in the back like some people are. Um, I like the fact he got a veteran defensive coordinator in Dennis Allen for the Chicago Bears. Uh, O line coach is where I think you guys really need to hit a home run. You need to hit a home run there, and also with who you get to replace the ones that are not up to snuff. And that's just my personal opinion because I think they'll still struggle if they can't fix that O line very well the first one. And we got Paul Jones in the house. Paul Jones, yes, welcome in, buddy. Anytime somebody gets a promotion, it's not really a stab in the back. I mean, you guys got pretty much a solid roster. It's all about coaching and the old line from here on out for Chicago. Yep, I think. Oh, I said the same thing. By the way, 4-star Chicago Sports. I got to make my joke about it because you're gonna love it. At the draft, Caleb said, "Go Bears." So effeminate. I think he's the only one that got excited at Liam Cohen and how he said Duvall at the end of his presser because I think it took the hook off of him. Everybody should be happy for Ben, no matter who you root for. He's a father and a husband, and he needs to do what's best for them. Yes, 100%. And that, yep. And I know what he said about going to Chicago and everything the last 10 years, but I also remember what his wife said last year about being so happy to be in Detroit. Jim Jackson, here's hoping the Bears don't find all that, JB. Sorry, 4-star homer here. Go Lions. Hey, that's it. I get it. Fans are fans. Yep, and now they're the enemy, but I wish them well. I don't wanna see them fall on their place. I think AG is the more head coaching ready prospect. Um, there's a little there's a little bit of that whole, um, I don't know what Ben is yet as a head coach, and it remains to be seen. And I'm not saying he's gonna be Josh Daniels, and I'm not gonna say he's gonna be Sean McVay. But if he's somewhere in the middle, that's pretty good for Chicago. That'll be the best coach they've had since Lovie Smith. Is that a good assessment for you? He doesn't have to try to be perfect right away. I know he used a lot of the same quotes that Dan Campbell and AG even used. AG even used a lot of those same quotes that Ben Johnson quoted in his presser. And everybody's like, "Oh, but Ben Johnson don't sound like it's the way he presented it that was different." And it didn't rub me wrong. It sounded off. I hope that I'm making sense. But I could see whoever's in last place have like 8 or 9 wins, and whoever's in first place have 12, 13 wins in this division next year. That's how tight it's going to be. And I don't know who's gonna take last, and I'm leaning towards Vikings, especially if they don't bring back Darnold. But after those last 2 games he played, I don't think they can bring back Darnold. He looked like New York Jets Darnold in year 2, seeing ghosts all over again. Uh, well, he was the passing game coordinator, and he did call plays for the Jets back in 2017 when, Adam Gase and the offensive coordinator was fired right away. And, let me give you those stats for you because I got the stats from that 2017 year where he was the interim OC for New York because he took over and he had his quarterbacks were Josh McCown and rookie Bryce Petty. Not exactly the glaring elite game manager type QBs, but they still managed within those 12 games that he OC'd 3,501 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns as a team, even though the O line allowed 47 sacks in 11 games. So basically, he had Caleb Williams' own line that wasn't opening holes. They had no running game. The running back was Bilal Powell. Uh, Robbie Chosen and Jermaine Kearse was the wide receivers that year. Yeah, AG said he talked to Rodgers, and he said that Rodgers has to be at camp this year. Is one of the things that he said, and so bringing him back, I think it's more about he doesn't want to do to the Jets' dead cap what the Saints have done to theirs, and I think that's more of what it is. Because if they waited out another year, the cap clears to get rid of Rodgers. So I think they may not go a first round QB. They may wait till day 2 to get a QB, which puts them in that whole Dylan Gabriel, uh, and a couple of others that could be there. It's crazy that a Heisman winner that looks better than the last 2 Heisman winners, as far as poise in the pocket, Jaden Daniels is great. He's a great athletic quarterback, knows how to roll out, knows how to do off script, off platform throws very well. But as a complete quarterback, I like what Dylan Gabriel looked like for Oregon. I'm going to say that right now, quarterback wise. Rogers, boo, retire already. Yeah, I know. And their tight end that year was Austin Seferian Jenkins. Oh, that's a That's an offensive weapon room that sounds reeks of mediocrity. So if he did that in 11 games, which 3,500, Caleb had that playing all 17. That was in a 16 game season. So, and he was under Todd Bowles. That really put him behind. I'm just saying, he said he's bringing him back, and I think it has to do with cap more than anything, Brent. You got to remember, cap room, even though it's fluid, if you take too much out of it, there's not much fluid to work with. Yep, Dylan Gabriel's height is a concern, but we said that about Russell Wilson coming out. He's got a Super Bowl. We said that about Drew Brees. He got a Super Bowl at the Saints. Short quarterbacks aren't as big of a thing anymore because O lines are protecting better. You do get, instead of a 3-step drop, you'll get more 5 and 7-step drops. You'll see more shotgun plays. That's just my opinion with those type of guys. It'll be more of a spread type of offense with zone blocking that would fit them. And there's quite a few zone blocking schemes in the NFL right now. So I think there's quite a few teams that he'd be a fit with. One of them being possibly the Jets. If you could get him in the second or third round and have him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year, and I'm not saying he's got to learn from Rodgers because God knows, I don't think Jordan Love learned one goddamn thing from Aaron Rodgers because he hated the pick. He avoided the offseason like the plague as soon as they got him. I think he may have talked to him on the sidelines during games and stuff like that, but he wasn't there for practices. He wasn't there for OTAs. He wasn't there for all that. He sacrificed his offseason bonus for workouts. He didn't care. He made enough money. Yeah, I'm saying the Jets can't afford to. I like him a lot, though he transfers over the last offseason, help Gabriel, Howard, and Ward. Yes, I still think Russell ends up on the Jets roster. I don't think the Steelers. I think Russell goes to the Raiders, and it makes more sense there. Look at where they're picking. They're picking at the back end of the top 10. And yeah, it's a crapshoot. They could end up with a Shador Sanders or a Jackson Dart or somebody like that. But if you could give them Russell Wilson, they don't have to rush and make that mistake. They could go best O lineman available there. And that makes more sense for them because their O line's atrocious. That would open up the running game, even with Alex Madison, who's above average. Bryce Young and Minnie Mouse Kyler. And look what Bryce Young did towards the end of the season after Dave Canales took him for 3 weeks off the roster and shot his QB juice all over him. That guy makes QBs out of everybody. He made Geno Smith look good, and he still looks above average for Seattle right now. That's because of Dave Canales, not Shane Waldron. Look at Baker Mayfield. I'm, I just, I worry about Tampa falling off with everybody they're losing in their coaching staff because of firing the GM that all the coaching staff liked. They started leaving. I mean, Casey Rogers took a lateral move. It takes a lot for a top 5 D-line coach to take a lateral move and go to another team. I don't care who it is, whether it's conference, other division, whatever. You normally don't see that type of move unless it's a step up or a promotion. Losing. I seen a rumor of Smith and Metcalf trade for the Raiders, first round this year and a 2 and 3 next year. Yeah, I don't pay a lot attention to a lot of those rumors until it gets closer to free agency, and then I sniff through them and look back at somebody's history and how much troll or clickbait stuff they've done. And if they've done it a bunch of clickbait, I try not to lend it credence. That's how I decide what I talk about here or not. Because I want it to be something of substance. I want it to come from a valid source. It's just me. So when I see, oh, Crosby wants out, I, I don't, I don't care until it happens. That's where I am with it. because that is not the type of moves that we've seen Brad Holmes do yet. I mean, the only big trade he's really made, if you really think about it, was Goff. And that was trading Stafford to get Goff, 2 firsts and a third. The third equaled Iffy Melifonwu. The 2 firsts, because of trading, Jameer Gibbs and Jameson Williams. John Morton, iodized salt. So he has been a play caller before, is all I'm getting at. John Martin steakhouse. Yeah, that's more like it. It's going to be more of a steakhouse, I think. It's going to be less about just the salt, but salt's needed on everything. Even though iodized salt is bad for you, salt is actually what's good for us and the earth. Mm. And I'll say it again. I don't think a single team in this division is going to have less than 8 wins next year. I don't. Dang, I'm hungry now. Yeah, me too. I'm probably going to go fry up a steak, slice it up into strips, and make me a Philly cheesesteak, homemade style. The only thing out of Philly I like are cheesesteaks. That and Joey Uso. Man, it's just a great time. I heard he doesn't like to run much heavy pass game. Me, right? I mean, look at who he had in all actuality. I know that. I think that's true too. Because Lockett doesn't have that big deal like the other one, like Metcalf has. Metcalf has that huge deal. I think he's going into his second year of his extension, maybe the first year of the actual extension, because I think they extended him before his rookie contract was done. So I don't know. It's so weird. Let's see. That was the 2019 draft. So yes, he's in his second contract now. Second year of the second contract. Second round of that year with Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. We picked Jelani Tavai, and 4 picks later, the Seahawks get DK Metcalf. Oh, I think we're going to keep Tim Patrick. I think he did enough on this for us, Broski. Um, and Keenan Allen already said he either wants to be with the Bears or back to the Chargers. He said that going into the offseason or going into the postseason in an interview a couple of weeks before. Allen was decent for him, but he wasn't great. I think was he their leading receiver? No, leading receiver was DJ Moore. Keenan Allen was second. He had 10 more yards than Roma Dunze. He was averaging 49.6 yards per game. He actually it looks like Roma Dunze was your second best at 101 targets, and he caught 54 of them. Keenan Allen was targeted 121 times with only 70 catches. So it was less than 20 more catches at 21 more targets. So I don't like that. Looking to see if they got his drops listed here. That's one thing I hate about ESPN. They don't list the drops like they used to. that's exactly why I don't want him. I think Tim Allen's a year or two younger and has less wear on the tires. And we saw Keenan Allen, he can break away, but he can't sustain it. I, and I'll say it again. I've said it for Four Sports Chicago. I'll say it for you again, Broski. I don't like the fact you guys took Roma Dunze. I think you should have took one of the guards in that draft. We got Yoli. Living the dream. I am so happy to have everybody here. We got 54 people watching. Make sure you know whatever platform you're on, you hit that like button. If you click into the lives and you're on X and you comment there, your comment will show on Restream. I will see them. Wow, I can't believe this. I only got 6 people watching on YouTube and 46 people watching on Twitter. And it isn't the Lions Twitter. It's Ken the Bears fan Twitter and it's Rob Haskell's Twitter. Crazy. It's crazy, But yes, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Well, they lost Randall L. I don't know if they're promoting Sean Ryan or still looking for a wide receivers coach at this point. I haven't heard on that end of it. I hope they bring somebody in soon if they're going to, because it would be smart to get it done sooner than later. Because the closer we get to the Super Bowl, the more people that will be available. Ricky Seacott, good to see you, my brother. Oh yeah, I agree that Odunze played well. I believe Caleb Williams 100% hit at least 50% of his height last year. I'm not trying to blow smoke. This is the start of my 4th year, broski. It's my anniversary of creating the show. Is that crazy or what? Yeah, that is somebody we could be looking at. Zach Vaughn might be a free agent because Philly doesn't have a lot of cap room next year. We could target him, a guy that's up for defensive player of the year, a guy I think that could win it. It's either going to be him or Trey Hendrickson, in my opinion. Who came out of nowhere before that. Zach Vaughn was just a solid player and came into Philly and blew up. They may have to restructure some people to be able to sign him. I like the idea of Zach Vaughn even better than Anthony Nelson. Only watch on YouTube, Twitter, or X, or even IG has too much drama. Nothing against the listeners on here. Just say, oh, yeah, 100%. There's a ton of drama everywhere. The 4th they traded for Allen, and the 5th they traded for Bates should have been O-line picks. The 3rd round pick used on Vela should have been an O-line pick the year before. I agree 100%. Uh, Velus Jones. Wow, talk about a fall off there. Yeah, hey, you're talking about the D lineman you guys took in the 3rd round. He actually did. I thought he was doing good for you guys, right? Happy anniversary to the Campbells. It's their 26th wedding anniversary today. Holly and Dan have been together for 26 years, which means they got married in 1999, guys. Happy anniversary, coach. So, JB, me and you are good, my man. I don't take what you say argumentative. Congrats on your 4 years, and here's to four more. Thank you. Um, this is the start of my fourth year. I just wish, I hope they go the O line route this year for the Bears. I think he's talking about Kieran Amadaj. Oh, okay. Armadaji. There. Okay. Sorry, I missed the letter. Well, had a speck on my glasses. The kid from Yale is a left tackle they drafted this past year. I like the two D tackles they drafted the year before. Yeah, Gervin Dexter. Love that kid. I was high on that kid coming out in the draft. Um, you can probably go back and watch some of my shows and see my draft stuff from the past two seasons, Broski. And I was big on Gervon Dexter. I'm not gonna lie. What he needs to develop, he did, which is a hand pop. That's the only thing that kid was missing from being super effective. Uh, so I named my three defensive end products. Let me go look at that roster again. I want to go through this for the Senior Bowl. Oh, I think I saved it in my. I think I got it saved. Oh, it didn't save it. You son of a. So I do got to re-download it. Ah, that's it. There we go. Oh, good lord, doggy's going nuts. So it looks like the starter for the American team at quarterback is Jackson Dart. The backup is Jalen Milrow, Riley Leonard, and Seth Hennington. I like Ork myself. Broski, what are your thoughts on Austin Booker after his rookie season? That's the guy I like for him. That's the guy I was thinking of was Austin Booker. Um, I just can't believe there's no Michigan O lineman in the Senior Bowl when there was seniors on that roster that are coming out. Um, Edge players: Princely, Uman Milan out of Ole Miss. Keep an eye on him. Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M. Jared Ivey is another one. I like this kid out of Ole Miss. Interior defensive lineman. Um, it was Deion Walker and Tim Smith out of Alabama that I really liked in that room. Linebackers that are in the Senior Bowl on the American side: Jack Kaiser out of Notre Dame, Shamir James, Florida, Demetrius Knight out of the second out of South Carolina. Safeties, I like Caleb Ransaw. I like Hunter Wohler out of Wisconsin and Dante Trader Jr. out of Maryland. Defensive backs that I have been paying attention to: Brandon Adams out of UCF, unsung hero there. Um, Melvin Smith Jr. out of Southern Arkansas and Jonathan Edwards out of Tulane. Thank you, Jim Jackson. On the American roster here, let's see. Let's go to the edge room or national roster. I just read the American. Mike Green, Landon Jackson. There's the other two big names I saw. I keep an eye on them. I also like Hosea Stewart out of Michigan. If he has a good combine and a good Senior Bowl, he could end up in the first round. So keep an eye on him. Interior defensive lineman: Joshua Farmer, Darius Alexander out of Toledo, but Joshua Farmer's out of Florida State. He had a good season, even though the team sucked. And Yaya Black out of Iowa. Junior Tapuna is like more of a mid room. Yep. I give every round at least 3 years because you could have a guy that looked like crap for 2 years and in their third year come out of nowhere. Linebackers, there's Jeffrey Bassa out of Oregon, Justin Barron out of Syracuse, and Cody Lindenberg out of Minnesota on the national side that I like to keep an eye on. I don't know what Kareem Reed out of Utah or Nicholas Martin out of Oklahoma State can do. I haven't watched much of their film, so I'll go back on it. Safety wise, Ryan Lane the third out of Navy. I really like that kid. And Sebastian Castro out of Iowa. But don't be surprised. Look for Max and Hook out of Toledo. And the cornerbacks I like here, Quincy Riley, he did a good job for Louisville. Isaiah Thomas, he's a good in-air defender, but I think he's more of a zone corner than anything else. Darian Porter is a guy I like out of Iowa State. Very good corner. And and Dorian Strong out of Virginia Tech had a real solid season. So those are some guys that I'm paying attention to. In the wide receiver room on the national side, Xavier Restrepo for me. Um, he has all the intangibles to be. Yes, absolutely, Broski Bear. Xavier Restrepo out of Miami, fifth year guy, transferred in when his dad became the coach, and everybody's like, "Oh, he blew up the last 2 seasons for Miami, over 1,000 yards in each season. Touchdowns went way up. He's got excellent yards after catch. He runs crisp routes, great hands. Keep an eye on him. He has all the tools to be a one, but he's the size of a slot. He could be trying to think of like a combination between Golden Tate and Wes Welker. Not the biggest guy, but good across the middle, able to go in and out of their cuts well, and can even send them out of the fly out of the slot. So keep an eye on that kid. Another guy I like is Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech. Big guy. Daquan Felton is more of an average size wide receiver, but he's okay. Running backs, I want to see if Donovan Edwards can do anything with a better O line in front of him because our O line was struggling to start the year. I want to see if he gets that speed back from his injury or if he's done before I can even say he'll be a good pick in the draft. And that's just my opinion. But Dylan Gabriel, and watch for this kid, Taylor Elgersma out of Laurier College, Cincinnati, Wisconsin, or whatever that is. Um, no, he's out of Canada. Sorry, he's the University of Wisconsin in Canada. This kid's a good QB, from what I'm hearing. Jeff Risden speaks highly of him. The other one is Tyler Show out of Louisville, and I didn't see much out of him with Louisville. Louisville had a good offense, but it was mostly because of their run game. So pay attention to those guys. Those are the guys I like. Because everybody was ready to write Jamison Williams off last year, and he missed 2 games due to the steroid thing, not due to the gun thing. The gun thing was thrown out, so you can't hold that against him. But he hit every box I wanted for him. 50 plus reception, 1,000 yards, 5 plus touchdowns. He checked all the boxes this year as far as play on the field, and that's not including his rushing yards. That's just his passing yards, guys. Just his passing stats and receiving. And I went back and rewatched it, and I don't hate the call for Jamison Williams to throw the football. Gibbs was right there. His decision making was poor, but that's only because Sanders was in perfect coverage. That ball was on target. I'm not going to take it away from him. He actually threw a good ball. I went back and watched it, and I watched it 4 times just to make sure I saw everything right. He threw a damn good ball. Sanders still made a play. Now, should he have thrown it in that tight of coverage? Hell no. If he'd have lofted it another 10 yards down the field, but does he have an arm to do that? We don't know because he's not a quarterback. Never been. The ball was on target. It wasn't the tightest spiral, but still a spiral. Hey, I I don't hate the call as much anymore. It it took some time for me to get over it. I'm not gonna lie. But I had to watch it like 5, 6 times in a row, and I'm like, this play wasn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. The play was good. The play call was good. And to do it on first down, you don't expect it to be an interception. If you're gonna do a trick play, do it early. The trick plays late can burn you worse. Think about that. If it had been 3rd and 2 and we tried that instead of first or second down, I think it was. I can't believe he hit it. I can't believe he hit the pass. The pass was on the money. It was right to Jahmyr Gibbs. He'd have been able to catch it inbounds, and it'd have been 20 yards down the field. So the play call was right. I'm sorry. That's where I'm at. Now, should he have looked and saw he was covered and maybe tucked that ball and started running because with his speed, he might have broke it to the house 100%. But the play call was right. It was executed 95% perfect. And that's where I'm at. I hope Jim Jackson catches a buttload of fish in the shanty. Um, so I just think our defense fell apart in that game. I think the defense are more of the reason why things fell apart. But I got to do my one joke of the day, and it starts right here. I had to put one in there, Broski. It's the only one I got. I haven't seen any more good ones. But I'll tell you what, as far as playoff teams, the entire NFC North was frauds this year. We all fell apart. We all went 0-1. You can't have that many combined wins and end up with nothing. Packers losing to the Eagles. Bad. Minnesota lost to LA horribly. And then we lost the way we did. It was a double digit loss. Say what you want. We failed to show up as a division in the playoffs. So let's see what next year brings. Sanders still had the best season among rookie quarterbacks. 17 games they touched, 62 solo tackles, 93 total, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle for loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Pretty good for a pick 57th cornerback selected. 100%. Let's look at Quinyon Mitchell. He didn't have an interception in the regular season. He got both of his interceptions in that last game versus the Commanders. So in the regular season, he just didn't have as many penalties as TA. Only 2 active QBs have won a Super Bowl. 30 other teams are trash. Yeah, I hear you. I know what you mean, Paul Jones. Let's see, Matt Stafford and 14 pass deflections. Forgot to put that in there. Oh, I know. He had a great year. Sanders still showed he was worth the pick they took him at. I'll admit it. I was worried about him coming into the NFL. I, I, I said, yes, he was a gamer at Michigan, but was it the scheme? Was it this? Was it that? Because we've seen cornerbacks from Michigan fall apart in the NFL before. Look at Leon Hall. Solid career, but wasn't that good in the NFL. He was just average. Sanders had a great rookie season. I'm not knocking anything from him. I like him better than Quinyon Mitchell his season. Well, it is that time for me to give homage to my sponsor. It is Brandon Service right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires are $45 and up, depending on size and condition. New tires, call to get your quote. They are delivered within 1 to 2 business days. Call 810-233-8230. Talk to George or Red. And we have Smoking Dad in the chat. If you are buying a set of tires, mention this ad and you will get $25 off your set of new tires. If you're buying a set of used tires, you'll get $10 off your set of used tires. It has been a long road. We have came to where we are. The start of year 4, right here. Happy anniversary, kneecap fighting with the Motor City Lions. Soon to become ACB Sports Network. I might be doing some other Detroit-based team shows, talking other sports. I'll never get into talking hockey because I'm not a hockey fan. I understand the game, but I'm not big on it. But I'm thinking about possibly incorporating a Tiger show. So if anybody in here is a fan of the Tigers and want to talk baseball, as you can tell, I kind of know what I'm talking about. I brought up Chris Rodriguez. I named off all the international prospects we signed. All 5 of the other guys we signed off the international prospect list are either just inside or just outside of the top 100 recruits. So they all have a shot to play within 3 years. And that's one thing that I can say, that Alavila, while he sucked at putting the MLB team together, he did pretty good at putting the prospects together that are coming up now. So he may not have been total ass as a GM, but he was total ass for a professional baseball team. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love.